What up? So I just got a text from my DMV guy saying that the van's registration application was denied. And if you guys been following the channel for a while, you know that we've been down this road before. When I bought my Kei Truck in June, I didn't get my paperwork, my registration and all that stuff till, like, no exaggeration, maybe November or October. Just going back and forth with the DMV. Can you weigh the vehicle? Can you go to JFK and get, like, the import paper signed or something like that, right? Just nonstop. So what I ended up doing was a title transfer, and then I got my title and my plates and everything right away. And the person I even sold my truck to has got their papers and everything done right away. And I literally bought my van like maybe 2 days after him, and I gave it to the guy the very next day. So like, he's driving fine. So I guess what's annoying now is that I actually have a title for the van. So like that issue, there's like, I knew that before I didn't have a title. I was trying to do it with import paper, so I was like, okay, let me just get a title. Let me just stop being dumb and just do it right away. But now I have a title. So I think one reason that maybe this didn't go through the way I wanted it to is I tried to do a license plate transfer. So maybe trying to transfer from the Hijet to the Bravo, it was just too confusing for the DMV. They saw like a 9-digit VIN or whatever it is, going to another 9-digit VIN that they didn't know, and it took 3 weeks. Like before, when I would get denied, it would take like maybe a week or a couple days, honestly. But to wait 3 weeks to then get nothing is like, it's slowing down my process. If you guys have any advice, if you live in New York, what I should do, I'm thinking that what I'm gonna do is just try to do the same exact thing. I don't know if I'm going to the same guy or not though, but he's been great for me. But I'm gonna try to do the same exact thing, right? I'm not gonna do, like, I showed you guys a picture right now, what they said. So as you guys see in the picture, it says to weigh the vehicle an invalid VIN. So like, clearly they don't know what they're talking about. Like, it can't be an invalid VIN. But I think what I'm gonna do now is just register it regular, right? So I'm gonna surrender the plates that I have now, and I'm gonna just try to register it regular. My only thing is that if I do that again and it takes 3 weeks again and I get declined again, it's really slowing down my process. So with all that being said, as you guys saw in the title, we're gonna do the 5 things that I hate about my Kei van. And that's definitely gonna be number 1. Number 1 is gonna be the registration part. And I know every city is different, every state is different. And obviously I know people that have vans that have no issue. People in New York have vans that have no issue. But that has to be one of my things that I hate about the Kei van. But besides that, to be honest, it's gonna be hard for me to find 4 other things that I generally hate about this van. Like, coming from a Kei Truck, there's not a lot of things I don't like about it. I love everything about it, to be honest. Like, there's really nothing that I hate. Like, I genuinely despise, like, oh my god, like, I hated the fact that my Kei Truck was a 4-speed and there was nothing I could do about that. This is a 5-speed. It has power steering, it has AC, and has the space. It's comfortable, you know what I mean? There's a lot of things I love. When I make my 5 things I love about this, I can easily do like 10. But that's number 1. Now let's get into number 2. So for number 2, and like I said, I know I'm nitpicking because there's really not a lot of things I don't like about this van. Like, come on, Apple CarPlay, it drives smooth. But for number 2 is, I'd have to say, I get that all these cars are 25 years old, but I hit a pothole and this button completely imploded, and now I don't have this function anymore. And this is to lock the rear hatch. So now I have to do it with the key, which is kind of annoying. Now we go to the other side. This could be just obviously a Mitsubishi Bravo issue because the Acties and stuff don't have this dash. But I hit another pothole. This button, again, completely exploded. This is for my rear wiper. So now I basically have no rear wiper and I can't lock the hatch. And like, that happened in the first, like, not even gonna lie, like maybe 2 weeks. And I still have the buttons, luckily. But I don't think that the function would still work. So like, my options are, I guess, maybe order the new one. Like, you know what I mean? Like, get some, not a new one, but like one from Japan, and see if I can take this off. But I don't see how I would take like the motherboard part off, you know what I mean? Like, I know I can buy this with the replacement buttons, but I have the buttons right here, so the buttons really aren't the issue. It's just the fact that like, it just broke, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't work. Like, I can't put this, I cannot fix this. This, I technically could get a screwdriver and kind of make it work, but like, that's janky. Like, you don't really, you spend a lot of money on this, you don't want that to happen. But again, 25 years old, we get it. So number 3 would have to be top speed and lack of power. So if I'm not wrong, this is the same engine that's in the Kei Trucks. So the fact that it's in a 500 to 600 pound heavier van, it definitely shows. And I know these come turbo, but mine isn't turbo, so it's a little sluggish, you know what I mean? It isn't fast. Top speed is, I coming from a 4-speed Kei Truck and being able to go like 100 kilometers an hour, I just thought that having the 5-speed would make a big difference. That like, I'd be able to cruise in 5th gear at 100, but realistically I cannot. In 5th gear I'm still pretty high on the RPMs. It's definitely much better than 4-speed, like 100%. I just thought it'd be a little longer gear, you know what I mean? So like these still aren't good for road trips. When I got the K-Van, I just thought that, like, you know, like I'll be able to go on road trips or just still drive far. Like when I had to drive an hour away in the K-Truck, I was like, no, I'm gonna hate my life, because it was a 4-speed. It was, you know, not as comfortable as a ride, of course, but just the fact that I wasn't able to go fast and cars are zooming by me. I'm all the way in the far right lane, and that was just annoying. But even in this van, like, I'm still not optimistic about going an hour away. It's still like, ugh. And what I mean by an hour away is that living in New York, I could go from Queens to Times Square and it's an hour. When I mean an hour away, is like 50 miles away. You know, like when you're just sitting on the highway the entire time. Like you're just on the highway the entire time. There's no traffic, there's no nothing. You're just sitting on the highway like this. Like when I drove to Long Island that day, I felt like I went on like a 10-hour road trip. I got home and my body was sore just from sitting like this, going 60 miles per hour, going 100 kilometers an hour, and just being like, oh my God, like I wish I could go faster, you know what I mean? Because it's still, like I said, an old car. You still feel the bumps. It's way more comfortable than a K-Truck, don't get me wrong. It's probably more comfortable than a lot of cars, honestly, for the year it is, you know what I mean? Like the thing is super comfortable, but it's just, it's still like, you still feel it on your body. And I guess I would say for number 4, and I've mentioned this before, and it's not really something I hate. I don't really hate anything about the van, like I said, but it's the attention. Like if you're not that kind of person, and I feel like I'm not that kind of person, but like I have to be that kind of person to have a successful, you know, business. But like everyone is staring at you. Like you just have to be okay with that. You have to be with the fact that like if you go to a red light and there's a car next to you, that car is in your face. And you know that feeling when someone is staring at you, they're just like looking at you, and like, you know, like you feel it on your face, like, yo, I know someone is looking at me right now. That's how it is. And it's cool though. In the same breath, it's definitely cool because like they're not staring at you in a bad way. They're just, you know, they want to talk. They want to say, hey, what's up? Like, where'd you get this car from? It's so cool. I have so many questions. Like, how can I get one? I always wanted one of these. So like, it's not really a bad thing, but like, just be aware that when you get this, it's way more than a K-Truck. I feel like the K-Truck people will look at me, but they'll be like, oh, it's just a little truck. Like, it's just a little mini. It's like a little pickup truck. I don't even realize it's right-hand drive. But with this, it's just like, it's the shape of it. It's like a little egg. I'm on the right side. It's just weird, like everyone. So just be aware that if you were to get this, obviously, like you're not gonna just like be one of the little Maximas on the road. Like people are going to want to talk to you every day, no matter where you go, at the gas station, which is a pro and a con. But for this video, if I just have to pick 5 things, that's definitely number 4. So for my 5th and final thing that I hate about my K-Van is that as much as I love the seats that they go back like this, you can stretch it out like this, they do this, you can lay down, all that is great. But what I wish is that I had just one cup holder. And I know they sell like the little cup holders you put in the little vents right here, and those are pretty sick, but it would have been cool to just have one like here, or maybe in the door, or maybe even in the back seat somewhere, like maybe here or something like that. I would love just one cup holder. I have 2 ashtrays, which kind of makes sense for it being time appropriate, but I have an ashtray here, ashtray in the front. It also would be pretty cool to have seat belts back here. I know I have this little roller coaster bar that you're supposed to hold on to back here, but it would have been cool just to have 2 seat belts. I'm pretty sure you could maybe like buy something and like latch them here or something like that, but that would have been nice. But like I said, there isn't a lot of things that like I didn't know when I bought this van. Like obviously I knew it didn't have seat belts. I knew all this stuff already, but I was surprised when I didn't have not one cup holder. I'm like, it's a van. Like I get it's a work van, but it's still a van. You guys gonna put one cup holder? But yeah, those are the 5 things that I hate about my K-Van. And if I had to add some things, I would say, obviously, when you get a Bravo, for my example, it's hard to find parts. I'm always seeing people selling Acti parts, like GNR, stuff like that. Like for me to find source parts for the Bravo is gonna be much harder and more annoying, which again, something I knew, and that's another reason I really wanted it and not a Honda Street, because everyone has a Honda Street. So that's something I would like to add. And then again, this thing does come turbo. Like I said, it comes with the air roof. It would have been cool to get that. I can't say I hate it though, because I don't know if that engine is even more reliable or if the roof is really that cool. So yeah, if you guys have any tips on the registration in New York, let me know. I'm going to now, I don't even know. Like I said, I think I might, what I'm going to end up doing is not doing a plate transfer, just doing it regular, because when I got my title and I registered the K-Truck, which to me is way more annoying than the van. I feel like a Daihatsu Hijet is way susser than a Mitsubishi, you know, a brand that sold a lot here and is still being sold in America, Bravo. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that isn't that hard. So I think that could just be me, but I think the fact that I tried to do a plate transfer on 2 weird vehicles was just too much for the DMV to handle. They were like, no, we don't know what we're doing, so we're just gonna reject you and you figure it out somewhere else. But enough hate on the Bravo. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
I was serving out the Camry. Way before the fame, yeah, we was heading to Miami. Way before the rapping, I was really out here thugging.